Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 15 is entitled as Puruṣottamaḥ Vidya, Puruṣottamaḥ Yogam. Sloka 19, Part 4. Yo bhamevam asammudaha janati puruṣottamam sasarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena Bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me. Currently, we are learning about the lakshana, the definition of Bhagavan. Out of 5, we have seen 2. The first one, Akhilaheya Pratyanika. The Lord is the adversary of all doshas, faults. Second, Kalyanaikatana. He is the single repository of all auspicious qualities. Another 3 lakshanams that we yet to see are Svetara Samasta Vastu Vilakshana Ananta Jnananandaika Swarupa. Svetara Samasta Vastu Vilakshana, meaning he is greater than Baddhatma, Muktatma, Nityatma, Mishra Sattva, Shuddha Sattva, Kala Tattva. How he is different and greater than all these 6 is what we covered in the previous 2 attributes, Akhilaheya Pratyanika and Kalyanaikatana. Because of those 2 reasons, he is greater than everyone. These 2 signs are the landmark, Akhilaheya Pratyanika and Kalyanaikatana. These 2 signs that identifies the Lord to be greater and different from others. These 2 makes him superior, supreme, Puruṣottamaḥ. These both, Akhilaheya Pratyanika and Kalyanaikatana, are known as Ubhaya Linga, 2 signs, signs, signs of the Lord. That is, Lord being adverse to all the doshas and being a single repository to all auspicious quality. He is superior to every object. This is also confirmed in the Brahma Sutra in Ubhayalingadi Karanam. There it is stated, Nasthanatopi parasya Ubhayalingam sarvatrahi. A question was raised that we have this body and we are within this body, and Paramatma is within us, the Jivatma. Since we are within this body, we are contaminated by it. Will that be the same case with Paramatma? Because he is within us, will he be affected by the doshas of the Jivatma? We understand that he is free of karmas, but when he is within this Jivatma, will he be impacted by the faults of the Jivatma or the Achetanas, the body? And that is what has been answered in the Brahma Sutra, Nasthanatopi parasya ubhayalingam sarvatrahi. Nasthanatopi. Though he is situated in the same place along with the Jivatma, he doesn't get the doshas of the Chetanas and Achetanas because he is Ubhaya Lingam Sarvatrahi. He is embodied with these 2 signs, that is Akhilaheya Pratyanika and Kalyanaikatana. This is what mentioned everywhere in the scriptures. These 2 landmarks that the Lord has, will never leave him. It's always with him. Therefore, he is Ubhayalinga Vishishta, one who has these two attributes within him which cannot be separated. Therefore, he is not affected by the doshas of Jivatma. Let's see an example. Say we pour oil into our hands. Then we know it becomes sticky, greasy. Then we need to wash it off with the soap to get rid of it. But when we take the oil by mouth, it doesn't stick there. We don't wash our mouth with soap water. That means mouth is not impacted by the greasy nature of the oil, but the hands does. Though it's all present in one place, in one body, their capacities are different. Similarly, though the Lord resides within the Jivatma, he is not affected by the doshas of both Achetana and Chetana, the non-living and living entities. So that is Svetara Samastavastu Vilakshana. He is superior to every object because of those two lingas, signs. Akilaheya Pratyanika Kalyanaika Tana. The fourth is Ananta, meaning he doesn't have any boundary. Anta means end, limit. Ananta means he who doesn't have limit. He is boundless, limitless. So what does it mean by he is boundless, limitless? There are three things by which he is not limited. They are Desha, Kala, Vastu. He is not limited by Desha, by a place. He is not limited by Kala, by time. And he is not limited by Vastu, by an object. This is what told as Trivida Paricheda Rahitam, that he is not restricted, limited, bounded by Desha, Kala, Vastu, place, time and object. Now let's understand what it means. Desha, place. Paramatma Swarupa is Vibhu. We have learned already about this several times, that Jivatma is Anu, minute particle. We know Jivatmas are three categories: Baddhatma, Muktatma and Nityatma. The Atma of Baddha, Mukta and Nitya are all minute. Just because one is liberated, attain moksha, doesn't mean their Atma becomes Vibhu. They are still minute, which is known as Anu. Whereas Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, is Vibhu. He is widespread, not constrained by a particular place like that of the Jivatma. He is present in each and every drop in the ocean. I cannot say that I am present in my study room and also I am present in my living room. I am present in America as well as in India. That is not possible because my Atma, Atma is minute, Anumatram. Just to give an idea what Vibhu means, we know that there are 5 material elements: earth, water, fire, air and ether. Ether is Akasha. The ether, which is Akasha, is bigger in size compared to earth, water, fire and air. Therefore, as per Nyaya Shastra, Akasha is considered to be Vibhu because there is no place without space, ether. Akasha is spread everywhere. Therefore, they say, Nyaya Shastra says that Akasha is Vibhu. But as per the Vedanta, the Akasha is not Vibhu. Why? Because it is a byproduct of something. Akasha is a product of Ahankara. Ahankara is a product of Mahan. Mahan is a product of Mula Prakriti. If we remember what we studied in the 14th chapter, that a part of Mula Prakriti changes to Mahan. Then a part of Mahan changes to Ahankara. And a part of that Ahankara changes into Akasha, the space. That means Akasha is somewhere within Mula Prakriti. That implies the Akasha is not outside of Ahankara. That means it is not present in Mahan, which means Akasha is not in Mula Prakriti either. Therefore, we can conclude that Akasha is not present, the space is not present outside of Prakriti. It is within the Prakriti. From this we can also come to a conclusion that the material Akasha certainly not present in the spiritual world, the Nitya Vibhuti, Vaikunta. Therefore, Akasha is not Vibhu. Certainly, Akasha is bigger compared to the other elements, but bigger than Akasha is Ahankara. Bigger than Ahankara is Mahan. Bigger than Mahan is Prakriti. But that doesn't mean Prakriti is Vibhu, because besides Prakriti there is spiritual world. In the spiritual world, Prakriti is not present. Prakriti is certainly infinite, but compared to the spiritual world's infinity, it is less. Spiritual world is of Shuddha Sattva, but that Shuddha Sattva is not present in Prakriti. And Prakriti's Mishra Sattva, that is Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, the mix, is not present in the spiritual world. That is to say, what is there in the spiritual world is not in the material world, and what is there in the material world is not in the spiritual world. This is in terms of Shuddha Sattva and Mishra Sattva. So what is common between the spiritual world and the material world? What is that one which covers both the spiritual world and material world is the Paramatma Swarupa. It is the Lord alone who covers everything because He is Vibhu. We, the living entities, are present within the Akasha, but that Akasha is present within that Lord, and that Lord is present within that Akasha as well, as Antaryami. He is also Atma, and we are also Atma. But we are Anu, therefore we are restricted by a place, Desha. But Paramatma is Vibhu, that is to say opposite of Anu, minute. He is big, therefore he is not restricted by a place. Let's see some scenarios. The Baddhatma, who is Anu, sits in a place and tries to know things around him within a limited space. If I am sitting in a room, I am able to cognize things that are present within that four wall. I can hear sounds within a certain distance in my house. I can reach out with my hand to a certain distance. All these happens through my jnana, knowledge, the consciousness which travels out of my body, touches the object and learn about that object. Sitting in a corner within America, I will not be able to know what's going on in Australia, the other part of the world. To know, I have to go there physically. Well, one may argue saying, media is there, internet is there, you can know what's happening in Australia. Well, what we hear, what we know through the media are not complete. Therefore, it is not complete knowledge. Unless and until I am present there, I will not know, I will not have the complete knowledge. So if I have to know things happening in Australia, then I have to go to Australia. If I am going to Australia, that means my Atma leaves this place and go to another place. So, my Atma is restricted in one place and my Jnana is restricted to some extent. This is in case of Baddhatma. Whereas if we consider Muktatmas and Nityatmas, their knowledge, consciousness is not limited like the Baddhatmas. Because they are liberated, their Jnana is spread everywhere. Therefore, they have full awareness, knowledge of everything. But again, the important point to note here is that their Atma is still in one place. Just because both Muktatmas and Nityatma has complete knowledge of everything doesn't mean their Atma is present everywhere. From wherever they are situated in the spiritual world, their Jnana is what gets spread through everything, not the Atma itself. But when it comes to the Lord, He is not restricted in one place. Not that He is sitting in Vaikunta and His Dharmabodha Jnana is extending to all different places to obtain knowledge of what's happening. His Atma, He, Paramatma, is spread everywhere. Therefore, He is not restricted by Desha, a place, like the Baddhatma, Muktatma and Nityatma. It is said in the Upanishad, Jayan Prithivyaha, Jayan Antarikshaha, Jayan Evyo Lokebhyaha, that He is greater and bigger compared to everything. The universe has 14 planetary systems. Like that, there are unlimited universes, all that are present within the Prakriti. Then there is spiritual world, which is much more greater than the Prakriti, and the Lord who is present in all this. Therefore, He is Vibhu. Next, we have to learn how He is not restricted by Kala and how He is not restricted by an object. That we will learn in the next session. Namaste. Hare Krishna.